Good morning. What a great day it is. What an awesome time we can have in this day, knowing that this is the day the Lord has made. What are you thinking today? Have you really considered the greatness of God lately? Have you pondered the reality of Jesus? I was thinking about this holiday we call Christmas, and really what Christmas celebrates is the moment that God decided to take residence in a human body here on planet Earth. God, who previously had been perceived to just operate in the invisible realm, in the air and the heavens, wherever that might be, took up the form of a human body. He didn't take it up in the form of a king like the people were looking for, like King David or something like that. He took it up in the form of a little baby and went through all the turmoil that a baby does. And I like Christmas, I like presents, all that. But there's something more that I don't think is talked about much, and it's a really big deal. But all that came to my mind. I was having lunch with a friend on Friday, and he was telling me about a family member who said that he didn't believe Jesus resurrected from the dead, but he was a great man. And immediately I just say that it can't be, it can't be. If he didn't resurrect from the dead, he is not a great man. And because if he didn't resurrect from the grave, he was a liar who attracted millions of people and misled them to do things that weren't of God, but of a man. And so um, Paul said in his writings that we are to be pitied the most if the resurrection didn't happen, right? So he's saying that we've been following a lie if it didn't happen. And then Jesus said in John 11:25, I am the resurrection and the life. Whoever believes in me will live even though he dies. And so he said he was the resurrection. So if he didn't resurrect, he was just not who he said he was. And consequently, he could have been a great man. And so um, I would challenge you with that is to consider who Jesus really is, who he is. And I would even do it reading the apostles' writings. We had mentioned several weeks ago the idea that the early church spent a lot of time just discussing the apostles' teaching. And the apostles taught a lot about Jesus and who he is and who he was. Um, think about this verse too. It's the last verse in the book of John. It's John. I got to find my readers. They're stacked up somewhere on my desk. Where they are. It's the last verse, John 21:25. And it says, there are many things that Jesus did, which if they were written in detail, I suppose that even the world itself would not contain the books that were written. Can you imagine that? I've been to some big libraries. I've been to the Library of Congress, but behind the scenes of the Library of Congress, seen all the books that were stored there, and that's a lot of books. Just the old-fashioned card catalog that they have in the Library of Congress, unbelievable. Like, so that there's got to be warehouses of books that the Library of Congress has stored somewhere. But in fact, if they recorded everything that Jesus did, it would be hard pressed to say that there were enough books to write the details of them. And that was a result of the first Christmas, right? The very first time he took up residence in a human. And the part that blows me away that I don't hear many people talking about is that Jesus was born of a virgin. He lived a perfect life. He lived in a body just like you and I did. He was assassinated. He was crucified. He was buried. He resurrected on the third day. He was seen by more than 500 people. Then he ascended to on high and went up to heaven. And then there was this thing called the Pentecost where his spirit came and took up residence in the believers. They had a little fire over their head at that point. But here's the deal. Jesus did all that suffering for you and me, and he, from his own will, chose to suffer again the moment he took up residence in humans again in Pentecost. So there was the first Christmas where he took up residence in a human body, but every single day today and every day since then, he was born into this planet when people are born again. And Jesus willingly chose to take up a human body again. It's unbelievable to me. I don't even know what you can say about that. But what I know about that is he willingly opted to geometrically be um, in the midst of crisis, in the midst of turmoil, in the midst of hurting, in the midst of pain, over and over again the moment he enters the bodies of the new believers. And it's unbelievable. It's love beyond anything you can imagine. So whatever you're working through today, whatever you're sensing, he's there. It's not the footprints in the sand. Even there aren't two footprints. He is in you. There's one set of footprints. He loves you. He cares about you. And he is the risen God for which there wouldn't be enough books to write about all that he did and is doing today. So let him flow through you today and have a spectacular one. See you soon.